6 years since we started the Zambian Genius program, we've seen a lot of innovations, and most of these are to do with the gadget, the laptop that we mentioned a little earlier. Now, it comes with quite a lot of advantages, and there could be some disadvantages that it comes with, but that is water under the bridge. We want to look to the positive side of this particular gadget, invented back in 1981. The computer coming in first in 1822. Mr. Raymond Lumbuka is coming from Access Zambia. These are the experts when it comes to the distribution of the famous laptop. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too, and thank you so much for
Indeed.
having me.
Today we are going to play an innovation clip of someone that played around with the laptop, and they've come up with something that is very beneficial in the health sector. And you might also be interested in what he did. It's a good thing that we keep you in the dark.
Yeah.
After you see the innovation, then you can tell us your impression of it. But first, when we speak of Access and you being top-class distributors of the so-called laptop, what exactly do you do?
So basically, as Access, we try as much as possible to help people or resellers distribute genuine products, and we link them to genuine brands which are able to help them to do their work properly and also to give quality. So ours is to add value to our resellers and also to make sure that we grow them as entrepreneurs.
That is where I come in, because I'm interested to link these innovators to people like yourselves. How do you help these that you've seen are very innovative when it comes to the use of the laptops? Because I know they are programmers, computer programmers, and these people that come up with apps.
Yeah, so what we know is that when you have an idea, for it to grow into you being an entrepreneur, you need to have an entity registered. Because if you act as an individual, someone can easily pick up your idea. But as we encourage these technicians to form up at least an entity which is registered, then we register them as resellers.
Okay.
Then from then on, we start building them, give them free training, expose them to different brand owners like Dell, HP, Lenovo. And also we know sometimes it's difficult to have capital. So as they do their projects, if it's a project that requires a lot of input, and we see that they may not qualify to go to the bank and get funding, so we come in and help them. So we link them, we bring the product to them, they sell off, then we know how to collect what is ours.
Great. So let's now look at this particular innovation via laptop. It's done by Bright Walia, genius character, I must say, and he probably needs some help that Mr. Lumbuka and team would actually give to such an innovator. Let's take a look at this.
All right, my name is Bright Walia. My innovation is in the area of health, and I built an application in that area, and I call it Seizure Assistant. It's called Seizure Assistant because this is an application that is meant to help people living with convulsive disorders in their wide variety. However, this application will not be limited to just convulsive disorders. It will encompass a wide array of other conditions. But for starts, I am looking at convulsive disorders, and this is what it does. So the application is a health management application, an experience sharing application, as well as an SOS application for the patient. It can be used both by patients and non-patients. And it does all of these things that I've spoken of through this wide array of features that the application has. The first feature I'll talk about is the SOS feature. This is the feature that allows the patient or the person using the application to be able to get help when they are about to suffer a convulsion. If I may simplify it, convulsions could be, maybe if you think of the people living with epilepsy. So before they have an epileptic attack, they are able to get help using this application. So they do that by pushing this SOS button here, And when they push this button, the application will do three things. One, it will send an SMS to an emergency contact that the person set beforehand, telling them to say, I have suffered a seizure. I am in this particular location, with a Google Maps pin that will allow that person to be able to track that person, the patient, and provide the help that they need. Two, it will be able to play some sound to get the attention of the people around that person, so that they can pay attention to this person that is now on the ground, obviously out of breath and has lost consciousness. And the third thing the application will do is launch the About Me feature on the application, which will display the person's personal information, which is the condition they have, the first aid details about that condition. This is the information that will allow the people around this person be able to offer help to this person. Not the very rumors that we hear, the various rumors that we hear in our country to say when you find somebody epileptic, they're on the floor, no, put a sock on their mouth, put a shoe on their mouth, and all of these things. The application here will give you the actual health tips that will allow you to provide the help that this person needs. So you will find the emergency contacts details here, their name, their relation to the patient, their phone number, and through the application here, you can directly dial this emergency contact right from the application. And other than dialing them, you can also send an SMS just by pressing that button. And by you, I'm referring to the people that are attending to this patient that they have now found on the ground. And if you scroll through this list, you'll be able to see the actual condition name that the patient has, the first aid details here, where you'll be able to read, make the patient calm and comfortable, roll them on their side, and all of these things. And a feature that will allow the patients to get help from the people around that person. So the other features on this application include conditions. This will allow the person to be able to read more about the condition that they have, get to know whether it's treatable, the first aid details, so that they can share with the people they are living with, and all of that stuff. So the other features on the application are seen here: diary, inventory reminder, tips, and meetups. These features all come together to ensure that the patient has the best from this application, get help from other people on the platform, and also introduce them to a wide array of things that will help them manage the condition. I myself am a patient, and this is an innovation I built to speak to other patients, to tell them you can do whatever it is that you dream of doing, and if I did it, you can do it too. So dream big and pursue your dreams as well. Do not let your condition hinder you.
That's Bright Walia there with an innovation that enables somebody that suffers from seizures to be able to alert people around him, as well as send a panic button to their relative. Your impression of that particular innovation?
That's quite excellent. And you know, health is quite a big industry. And I'm sure with the innovation that he has, he would want to reach as many people as possible. But how do people access what he's selling? So that's where we come in, because he needs hardware to have that application exposed to as many people as possible. Now, what you find in the market is he may need quality hardware that he gives to whoever the client will be. Mm-hmm. But what you find is that there are great products on the market. You get a laptop that is supposed to be meant for Europe. It comes into Zambia. So that we classify it as grey, because it may not be able to handle the weather that we have here. Okay. But as Axis, we help people like him to get a quality laptop that is built for this environment. When he installs such an application, then he gives it out, say, to the hospitals or to the clinics. It will run the test of time because it's coming via the channel. And with that innovation, of course, other brands or vendors like Dell and HP, they like to support such innovations. And this can come as a built-in application in the laptop itself.
So if they had to adopt it?
Yes.
Okay.
So if they are to adopt it, because it's something that has got impact on so many individuals, and it can be put as a project, say, in e-health.
Okay.
And for it to reach as many people as possible, or as many hospitals or private hospitals, clinics that are there, he may need a lot of volumes of laptops to go out.
I want to think out loud, because when I was talking to him, it's been a few years down the line, and I'm impressed to hear that it's been actually scaled up a little bit, so it's better than the form it was in at the time of that particular story being captured. I want to think, if you are the link between him and Dell manufacturers, is that correct?
Yes, because remember, Dell HP cannot have an office in Zambia.
Okay.
So we sit in Zambia representing them.
Okay, so these innovators can actually come through you to get to Dell.
Yes.
Wow.
So they can come through us, then we link them to Dell themselves, because we have a representative that visits the country after a month. So all we do is, when he is coming, we set up a meeting with him, he explains the innovation, and that will be a link to Dell for him to expose the innovation that he has.
Great. Let's focus on his innovation. He suffers from such seizures, and he has piloted it by using himself as an experiment. Do you think this is a viable idea?
It is very viable, because look, he's coming up with a localized problem that is in the Zambian community. Of course, he's done tests, but there will be need to punch a lot of holes into what he has done. So linking him to an expert, to people who have done such innovations, over and over time, will be able to refine the idea that he has. They'll be able to help him refine it and also grow the idea beyond. It could be a problem that is not only in Zambia, but it can go beyond our country.
It's a global solution provider to most of the people that have such a seizure, and hence your coming in would actually be handy for such people, isn't it?
Yes.
It will then enable them to reach out a wider audience other than just the Zambian market.
Very true, very true. Because what you realize, these brands like HP and Dell, they even have forums. For example, Dell does Dell World in South Africa and Las Vegas. So these are two areas where if he was given a slot, then he can grow into become one of the Elon Musks that we can produce from this country. So that is the exposure that now he needs from where he is to grow the product that he has come up with. Yeah.
How are you reaching out to the people that you are supposed to assist in this case as a company?
So as Axis, deliberately, we do reach out. We do events where we call. Of course, it's restricted to those who are our partners. Okay. But with him, of course, as an individual, we would want him to grow, like I mentioned earlier, into an entrepreneur. So we would encourage him to set up an entity. Immediately sets up an entity, it's free for us to adopt him as a partner. Once he gets into our community, then he has access now. He will first start by attending our forums locally, then also the forums that we do outside Zambia. So we incubate such people by, first of all, encouraging them to be an entrepreneur who has got something which is legal, registered. Then us, we do the rest. It's a very simple process. We don't charge anything for them to be onboarded as our partner, and also to expose them to over 100 brands. Actually, we go beyond just the 3 that I mentioned. Over 5,200 brands that we promote. So he has access to all of them once we register.
I guess in the innovative, creative industry, these are some of the challenges that people face, because I've interacted with quite a number of them. You find that they are given things to do, a to-do list, which might be like a hurdle for them, because these are just startups. They need information. They need some kind of lecturing on how they can go about finally coming up with an organization or a group of themselves, which if they present themselves to firms, then they can be adopted. That is a challenge. But how simple do you think in your own way you would advise them to easily do such processes?
So, first of all, you need to understand the nature of technicians and programmers. These are basically, usually they are introverts because they fight with machines. So they don't really like interacting with people. So that is one thing that we identify in them. And then quickly we will offer training sessions at our office.
Okay.
So when they come through, we will first discuss whatever product that they want to take out there. Then we go through more or less like a mentorship training with them. From there, it's easy to grow from just an individual, because they have to realize that it's partnerships that will help them grow from the product that they have to have a massive product which they can push out there.
What are the advantages of having laptops around? Because we mentioned earlier to say that before, these inventors that invented these things are the ones that did a great deal of work, because the rest that's being done now, it's just innovations. The invention is already there, and then people are innovating on it, because even the laptop in its original format was something else. Today, we are speaking smart laptops.
Remember, of course, when initially there were no laptops. We were using desktops. But with time, it has gone into, you have a laptop, you can now also have an iPad. Why? It's because that portability helps you to work from anywhere. And that's the advantage that the laptop comes with. But of great importance, like I stressed earlier, it's to get a device that is built for this environment. Remember, our temperatures are different from Europe. Someone would want to get a laptop that is built for Europe and it's cheap, but they go with it, expose it to our rough terrains where it's hot, you find the fan is blowing up, they can do work. That is what we try as much as possible to help our partners understand.
I have never thought about that.
Yeah.
So you don't just order a laptop.
No.
There are certain specifications you need to look at based on the environment you're in.
Yes. So there are channels. Each of these vendors that are there, Dell, Lenovo, HP, they sell through a channel. So there are laptops that are built for Zambia. There are laptops that are built for Europe, per se.
Okay.
So when you get a laptop that is built for Europe, that's the one you find in 3 months, 4 months, it packs up. Why? It can't withstand the heat or pressure that it receives in this part of the world.
Okay.
So that's the reason why we encourage them, get a device that is meant for this environment. And that's the reason why you find many companies, when they are buying, they will say, we need a manufacturer authorization.
Okay.
It is from that you authenticate that you are getting a laptop that is built for this particular environment.
So on this episode today, we have learned on how you can also be linked to bigger brands if you're an innovator with such apps as Bright has. And so get in touch with us. Go to our Facebook page, the Zambian Engineers. We will be able to post the details of Mr. Lumbuka here and team, so that in case you want some linkage, we'll definitely link you to them. As we leave you, let's leave you yet with another innovator. But remember, we will be back yet again with another episode next week. Otherwise, thank you so much, Mr. Lumbuka. Looking forward to having you again with more insights on such.
Thank you so much for having me.